Go.
Hi, I'm Dr. Fry, and this month we're going to be talking about breast cancer, but it's very personal to us because this is my husband, Dale Schaefer, and about 14 years ago, he was the husband who had to hear the horrible diagnosis that his wife had breast cancer. I'm going to let you hear what he felt and how it affected his life, because I think as an introduction, as a husband who might be watching this, you need to know what those feelings are and how he mobilized himself to help save my life.
Well, we had been trying to figure out what was wrong with Molly for quite some time. She'd been involved in an accident and she was getting numbness in her hands. She got carpal tunnel surgery done by the insurance company, but they basically refused to do much of anything else. She had very large breasts and they were pulling on her shoulders and her neck, and she kept getting tingling in her hands. So after a couple of years of fighting with the insurance company, they agreed to do a breast reduction surgery on her. So we scheduled it for December of 1997, and she was going to go from a size triple D down to a C, I believe. And the surgeon was so proud of himself. He walked out of the operating room and he said, "I've got good news and bad news. The good news is your wife has these nice, pretty size C breasts, but the bad news is we found cancer in there." And it was like somebody hit me with a ton of bricks. Molly's mother had died when she was 10 of breast cancer. We had always been concerned that breast cancer might be something we had to deal with, but here it was the reality. I was a busy practicing attorney at the time. My children in the house were between 5 and 10 years old, and I did not know which way to go. I was lost. I didn't know what he really meant. I struggled to understand what this meant. I finally got to talk to Molly in the recovery room, and she did not know what happened either. She just remembers she woke up and her breast was the size of a big balloon. They had to take her back into surgery, and they actually sewed her back up with cancer in her breast. It took a couple of weeks for the surgery to heal enough to go back in and have both of her breasts taken off. That was a shock for a young married couple. Have both of your breasts of your wife taken off. What's this going to mean? How are you going to deal with this?
And the important thing to realize is it has to be the woman's decision, and it has to be your decision, and you can have a wonderful intimate sex life with your husband if you had one before, after this surgery. Many women choose to be reconstructed. I didn't. I'd already had very large breasts and didn't really want them, and my decision ended up saving my life because there was cancer in my right breast, and if all they'd done is reduced my right breast and taken part of my left, they probably would have missed it, and since I seem to have such an aggressive tumor, it probably would have come back. So my decision to have both breasts taken off, I was told by the doctor, was a life-saving decision for me. It's not the same for everybody, and even now, 14 years later, if I feel for vanity's sake I need to have them reconstructed, there's lots of ways that they can be reconstructed to this day. I just don't want to go through the surgery and the pain.
If you feel it's necessary,
but you can. But once you're clear of cancer, I would suggest, because you never know, cancer spreads through your body. I just really want to introduce to everyone out there that there is hope, that this breast cancer thing is coming under control. When I got the breast cancer, there was more hope than when my mother got the breast cancer. When my mother got the breast cancer, she was dead in 18 months. When I got the breast cancer, I had a fairly large tumor. It had spread to my lymph nodes, and then there was the surgical disaster. But still, my survival rate had real potential. We did many alternative therapies. We did many different experiments, and we did travel to Washington. We did everything we could to be close to our kids, and my daughter came home from college and stayed with the little children so that they wouldn't feel neglected. But it's a family disease. Everyone in the family has to get together and unify to try to pull love and kindness and sympathy and goodness out of a terrible tragedy.
Fortunately, I was medically trained, so I was able to help a lot after Molly's surgery and with her emesis. The chemotherapy made her sick. We tried every pill and injection we could find. We ultimately turned to marijuana, which turned out to be life-saving for her. But to be the spouse of a breast cancer patient is very difficult, especially when they're young and you have children. You constantly worry, what's it going to be like if she doesn't make it? How are we going to get through this? I was trying to bring money in the house and work, but still spend time with her for her physical and emotional needs. She had very high anxiety levels over this because her mother had died. So I asked the doctor for anti-anxiety medication, and I basically kept her sedated for a lot of the time because she was so upset about this. She got depressed, which, as you can well imagine, to be depressed. I got depressed also. So as the caregiver, take care of your own health too. Don't be afraid to go to a doctor for your own well-being. Join a support group if you need to. Find out other people in the same situation to help you emotionally as well as physically. If you don't have medical training, find somebody who can help you for the physical needs of this person who's just had their breast cut off and is puking their guts out, had their hair fall off. They feel terrible. Support them. Tell them you love them. Tell them they're beautiful. Even though they look like a bald chihuahua, tell them they're beautiful. It's part of your duty as the husband to support them in their emotional time of need. They feel like nobody cares about them, nobody loves them, they're afraid they're going to die, and you need to be there to try to support them. This is one of the most difficult things you'll ever go through, but together you can make this.
As we have